Hello, how are you? So this compilation isn't just old games, they've also got reimaginings of old games. What's old is new again, like heating up a fine lasagna and chucking it in your sister's face. So this one's Vector Sector, or perhaps Vector Scatter. There weren't real words in the title, so I gotta guess. It's a reimagining of 4 games in one, with the theme of vector graphics, a celebration of all things vector. Find the computer room. So, I like the way the bullets, it's gone now, but I like the way the bullets don't just die when they hit the edge of the screen. They just come back out the other edge, so if it misses the first time, you can get it the second time. Now the second one, this is supposed to be Lunar Lander. This one's especially tricky. It's very sensitive. Hey, I deserve a round of applause for that one. That shit ain't easy to do. And I got it on the first try. Then we've got game 3. It's that one game that everybody played in the high school computer lab. Remember that one? I was actually quite proficient at Cube Field in my prime. Somebody was looking over my shoulder once and they told me I ought to be a linebacker. Because I guess in some respects it is the same skill set, of being able to move fast and identify objects that may potentially be blocking you. Relative to other Flash games, I guess that would have been one of the more harmless ones that you could play in a school computer lab. Because that would have been when I was in high school, when the teachers got a bit more wise to how the internet worked and they started putting blockers on what you can and can't look at. Earlier than that, though, in the earlier days of the internet, when those teachers just generally didn't know anything about how computers worked, you could just go anywhere on the internet in the school computer lab. There was no blockers, no filters, no anything. I remember seeing a bunch of the other kids in school playing really raunchy Flash games just in the middle of a school day. So what a strange time, that brief early period of the internet where some people understood and other people didn't. And the people who did understand, they could really get away with playing some messed up stuff. I remember there was this one kid, he was playing a Flash game where it was like a Super Mario World, but it had been modded, so Mario had a shotgun, and he was blowing the heads off of Koopas. And there was another one where there was like some kind of cryptid in the woods, and he was slicing up the Boy Scouts with like his claws, and all kinds of stuff that we definitely shouldn't have been exposed to at that age. Memories. So the idea here is if you can beat all 4 minigames in a row, they just loop back around, and that wave 1 at the top turns into wave 2, and they get harder with each iteration. But I'm not quite skilled enough for that. I feel like AVGN trying to land the plane in that one episode. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna land the plane. See what I mean when I say this is very sensitive, and it's a miracle that we got this on the first try at all? I mean, it looked like I had that, but in the last millisecond they'll switch it from, you're doing well to you're going too fast. They switch it right before you have the chance to fix it. What a load of cheese. Okay, well, I think you get the idea of Vector Scatter. Keeping up with the theme of vector-style games, there's another one I wanted to look at. I did this one in the other series, but I wanted to revisit it since I didn't get very far. What did that say in the description? Rick Rubin's sci-fi adventure? Now there's a silly visual. Rick Rubin. What a fucking idiot. I guess now somebody's gonna have to add me to the next installment of the Nobody Respects Rick Rubin compilation. I'm assuming there'll be another installment someday. Plenty of material to go on. Anyway, so this is Major Havoc. There were two variants of this game in the arcade. There was the original that used a trackball, and then Atari wanted to save money, so for future prints of the game, rather than making new cabinets, they took a bunch of old Tempest cabinets and reprogrammed them to play this game instead. That's the second variant of this game, and that one uses a control stick. And that alarm sounds different than it did when we played this in Atari Vault. I'm guessing maybe that's an emulation thing. So out of the two versions we've looked at, one of them's not emulating the game correctly. And we just don't know which one. See, yeah, isn't that odd that they just took some different arcade cabinet and just kind of repackaged it into a new thing to save money? There's so much weirdness out there with Atari's history that starts with Atari wanted to save money, so they did blah blah blah. I think I read somewhere that the Jaguar just had like a big hole in the back of it, where there was just like an exposed circuit board. They did that to save a couple of bucks. I never personally owned a Jaguar, so I just gotta go by what they say on the internet. If you can't already tell by looking at it, this one was very clearly designed for trackball controls. Trying to do this with your standard issue Xbox controller just simply isn't viable. You also have a shield, by the way, but you only get to use it once. And there it goes. No more shield. I think we went the wrong way, too. You know, the whole reason I wanted to revisit this game was so that I could do better and show off more of it, but I really seem to be doing about the same. So if you're looking for other games with vector graphics, another good one to look at is Berserk by Stern Electronics. Not part of this compilation, unfortunately. That's a fun one. You just run around and you shoot the robots, and then the Walmart logo shows up and he gets you. Of course, none of that is on screen currently, so that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm trying to get to that little alcove at the bottom, but I keep overshooting it, because the controls are so damn sensitive. But yeah, Berserk is another good one to look at. Seems like something you'd find in the home of Weird Paul Petrosky. Amidst all those piles and piles of junk, he's probably got a few arcade cabinets hidden away somewhere. Good channel, by the way, Weird Paul. If you want to see collecting videos for miscellaneous garbage of decades past. Here they've got concept art from the game. A lot more thought went into this than you might think. In the earlier days of gaming, they would often sketch out the layouts of the levels before they actually put them into effect. I know the original Mario Bros. On NES, they had the levels laid out on really long sheets of paper. And of course, every frame of animation had to be drawn in some capacity. Here it was all done on graph paper, like in those architecture classes they made you take in school. Yeah, interesting stuff.